Success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformations. From James Clear in Atomic Habits. And today I'm sharing the 3 habits of profitable coaches. Heya, I'm Amanda, and welcome to the Best Damn Coach podcast, where I will teach you how to coach yourself, how to coach your clients, and how to run your coaching business. The number one goal of this show, though, is to help you be the best damn coach you can be so your clients go out and tell the world about you. So, let's do the damn thing. Welcome, and before we dive into this week's episode, I want to let you know of a free resource that we created just for you in case you haven't downloaded it yet. If you struggle sometimes in the middle of coaching sessions, you're not sure which questions to ask, or you feel that maybe your toolbox feels a little empty, we created a free resource of the 10 most powerful questions from my perspective every coach should have in their toolbox, in their arsenal to ask their clients. When you grab this freebie, you will get an explanation and context for each of the questions and a quick reference cheat sheet that you can keep right handy with you as your coaching client. So you can go ahead and head on over to amanda-walker.com/questions to grab the freebie now. Welcome to the Best Damn Coach podcast. I am honored you are here. I'm still getting so excited every time I say that as we start the show. And today I am talking about 3 habits of profitable coaches. So I'm going to share those eventually, and you're going to be able to check, like, do I see myself with these habits or growing these habits, or is this something I'm going to shift my focus towards mastering? And again, everything I share here is based in real life evidence of what I've experienced, what I've seen through the years in reading and studying, both mentors that I've had as I've evolved myself, and as I see my clients, I'm like collecting data from them and just kind of observing and watching and asking myself, like, what sets apart the coaches and the women that come in here and have success and are profitable? And today I'm going to share those with you. And I want to really take a moment, though, to talk about profit and talk about profitability in business. Now, I would be remiss if I did not bring up the topic of profit and talk about money on the show. And I say it, though, with this bit of hesitation, because I think there's also a lot of emphasis that money is the root of success in business. It is the thing that we're all chasing. And while that's true, I definitely want to make lots of money in my business. I want you to make lots of money in your life, too. I also want to say that the focal point for me in business and for the message on the show and to help you is that our clients and the humans that we serve are the number one focus. And I believe that by focusing on them and their results and growing yourself to serve them is going to directly impact your profit as you move through this journey of entrepreneurship. However, I don't want to hide behind the fact that profit matters. At the end of the day, profit is important, because if you're not producing profit, then you do not have a business. Right? You can say all the things you want, but businesses thrive because they are making money. And if you are in the beginning stages, right, there's some investment and some risk. You might invest in a coach or program support. If you're not in the service space, you might have overhead that you're taking a risk in, software, all those things. And that's a necessary part of the process to get through. However, at some point, we really want to start evaluating, am I over-investing in my business? Am I spending too much in ad spend? Is what I'm doing not working? Because at the end of the day, I don't care if you're 3 million gross revenue or 200,000 gross revenue or 50,000. Like, profit to me is the number that matters most. We toss around in the online space. You'll see ads like, I made 100K overnight. I'm like, yeah, but tell me, like, what's a profit on that 100K? You had a 100K launch. Cool. Tell me, did you spend 50K in ads? Because that's less impressive to me than if you have a 50K launch and you are no ad spend and you do that organically. As we talk about money mindset, I want you to embrace and feel confident in talking about numbers in your business, which is something that my inner circle is currently working on. My mastermind was broke up into quarters of focus, and the quarter we're currently moving into is all about money mindset, and wealth generation. Instead of thinking about just making money, we're talking about how do we take some of the money we're making and make it make more money for us, right? Which for me is super high level and something I wish somebody would have taught me a long time ago inside of business specifically. So The thing I want to share with you today is 3 habits that I really see consistently that turn into habits that help, you as a coach become profitable. I don't know if you ever were in like Psych 101 or took any psychology classes or just in some other learnings across your life, you've studied Maslow's theory of hierarchy. So if you just imagine this is a pyramid, and at the base of the pyramid, all the way tailored to the top, are needs that we need as humans. And his philosophy, his idea is we have to satisfy the most basic bottom needs first before we can evolve into the higher needs. And at the very base of that pyramid are physiological needs, the basic needs: shelter, food, water, air. And some of those we do need to have money to have. And so it's important from my perspective to understand that like money is a core need, just like food. And it's so interesting to me how skewed our relationship is with money, and how sometimes I have clients who are afraid to even check their bank account. I have clients who are completely hands off. And then I have clients who are like in it and they want to surround themselves with it. And just like food, I also have coached many women who have a very struggling, relationship with food, even though it's a core primary need. We're thinking about, like, no wonder we think about food and money all the time. We need those things to thrive and to move into higher levels of personal growth. In business, though, this is why that feast, famine, yin and yang energy often comes up, is if we have a month where we're like, oh, shoot, like we're not satisfying our most basic needs, then we don't have accessibility to look at things like personal growth above us, or, a high level of self-esteem and acceptance, or like our highest self and what kind of that journey looks like. These are all references I'm making up Maslow's theory of hierarchy. And so when it comes to profit, it is necessary for you to create, to get out of that basic level of need inside your business so that you feel consistent, revenue, you trust the process, right? And you can work on those things from my perspective without having that, steady stream of clients in the beginning. But it's just important to note for me that we really want to feel trust and security in order to move into higher levels of entrepreneurship or full entrepreneurship. So let's dive into the habits that I keep alluding to. All right. So habit number 1 that I believe creates a profitable coach is these coaches are consistent action takers. And I don't mean that they take giant leaps and bounds all the time, but they're just really damn consistent. I've talked before about passive versus massive action, right? And passive action is this energy of consumption. It's like reading the books, listening to the podcasts, talking to the people, and it all feels good. It feels like you're learning, but it's action that isn't actually moving the needle and creating profit, revenue, clients, taking risk. That is massive action. Massive action is the type of action that we define as it's an action that requires the potential that you might fail, get a no, not be successful. But we're kind of afraid of that, right? We resist that because of that exact word. There's failure and success potentially involved in our minds. Profitable coaches take massive action and they take it consistently. And that could be tiny action. I had a mentor once at the very beginning of my business just say, hey, when you feel overwhelmed, here's something to reflect on. What if you just took one step a day, one tiny step a day? And sometimes you'll have lots of those tiny steps in a day, and other times it might be just that step. That really sunk in with me because at the time my babies were pretty young and they had a lot of needs still, and that has evolved over time. They're more independent now. I can bring them into my business. We can even co-work together a little bit. But I took that with me because in business, there is the large temptation often, as in life and food, is this paradox, right? It's either this or that, right? Look at how our society really looks at things in general. It's either you're conservative or you're liberal. It's either daytime or evening routines. It's either you eat everything or you restrict yourself to 800 calories a day, right? We have a really hard time finding this middle ground, which is where we can truly, I think, build profit, because when we have consistency, we're just showing up consistently, right? And so in business, I think that sweet spot could be just one time a day, I do something. right? And that doesn't mean every day. By the way, I'm not saying just do one thing and be satisfied with that. Don't miss what I'm saying. I am suggesting that on the days where your mind wants to be like, well, I had 4 hours of work planned and my kid got sick, and so what I only have is time for this one thing. Well, then do the one thing, right? Because imagine, for me, I look back and that has tremendously impacted growth for me and profitability and just my confidence over time, because I keep showing up and following through and doing the things I say I'm going to do, which for me is the ultimate definition of confidence, is when I say something, I'm going to do something, and I do it. So consistent action takers don't always take massive amount of actions in a day, but they show up all the time to do the work that they've told themselves that they were going to do. The other thing about consistent action takers is they keep taking action despite what others think, despite what others might say, and also despite what the immediate ROI is. So they keep taking action even when it's crickets, right? They put out a social media post and maybe one person likes it. They don't look at it and go, oh, well, one person liked it. I'm creating crappy content. They just go, I'm going to keep showing up because the right person at the right time is going to see this, and that message is going to be for them. And then they keep taking action despite the immediate ROI, right? Return on investment. So much of what we do in business isn't about we put out one post, we send one email, and that person responds and says, oh, yes, I want your product or service. It's the exponential, or it's like the stacked up value that we add over and over by consistently creating value and content for our people. So if you are in this because you expect that you're going to put in 1 week of work and you're going to land a client next week, that's not how this works. It's about showing up consistently, because people who want your value, they want to know that as a coach, you're going to keep showing up for them consistently. And if they look and they're like, oh, she hasn't produced a podcast in 3 months, and then she did an episode, and then it was 2 more months, what does that say for your commitment for your people, right? Or the same with email copy, or the same with social media posting, right? Our people want to know that if they're trying to cultivate change and consistency, that we are capable of modeling that for them as well. And when it comes to return on investment, the understanding is if we need that, then we need to practice building the resilience of being able to delay that immediate gratification. I think that success is directly correlated to your ability to delay gratification in all things. Again, thinking about parenting, I'm really investing in my humans right now as I help raise them. Man, if I needed immediate ROI that they were going to be amazing adults right now, I would have tapped out a long time ago. I am hoping that all this energy that I'm investing in them is going to pay off and they're going to be amazing, adults someday. When it comes to food, right? If I'm on the wagon, let's just say, and I'm consistent and I expect that I put in a week's worth of work, and there's going to be some sort of external exact confirmation to show me that all that stacked up. Man, this is why so many people struggle in the health and wellness space, is because they expect it's tit for tat. I put in the week worth of effort. Something's going to show me that this work is valuable. So that's in business the same idea. We keep going, we keep taking consistent action, and we delay our ability to be gratified, and that helps us keep going. We don't need that feedback. We keep going because we know we believe in our mission, we believe in who we're serving, and we're going to keep showing up, and we know that the proof, will be in the pudding in the future. So number 1, first habit of profitable coaches is they're consistent action takers. Habit number 2 is that profitable coaches focus on their own personal breakthroughs and personal development over and over and over. Every single person that I feel like I valued and as a mentor in my life, even for close or from afar, I see how important and how much energy they put into growing themselves as a human. And when we do that, the cool thing about that I've really found of value for me personally is that the more I work on myself, the less I need my business to validate my worth. The less I need any external things to validate my worth. And in the beginning of business, I really struggled with that. I was like, I got a no on a sales call, or I had a rough client session. And man, I would be on the floor just crying. I'm a horrible coach. Nobody wants my services. And you maybe have that experience too. And I get you. And I realized I was tying my worth as a human into the success of my coaching sessions, into the yeses, into the value that other people saw in that moment. And man, that's like an exhausting roller coaster to be on. And so the more personal growth work that I do consistently and what I've learned from others and have studied when it comes to, various modalities in coaching is the more free I actually feel in my business and unattached to the profit as that comes. Because when we're stuck on it and when we're like so attached and we're gripping onto it and we're white knuckling it, that scarcity mindset really sticks in. And so we just want to step back and focus away from the profit often and on the people and on the goal and on the mission. And then money flows so much more easily and effortless. I do think though, there is like a direct positive correlation between your working on yourself and the profitability of your business. So for me, I set a chunk aside of money and I'm reinvesting that in myself as a human every single year. And the cool thing about that is, the more I evolve, the more I'm able to bring my clients along with me. Because I think of growth and it's cyclical. So you go kind of in a season where you're really focused on maybe refining an area of your life that you feel like needs attention. And you learn all these tools and all these modalities and you're like, yes, this feels so good. And guess what? Then there's this new version of you or this up-leveled version of you. And sometimes it feels like, dang, I'm starting over. Like, I thought I just did all this work. But I see it as just like the next circle, the next rung that's happening for you. And you're taking all those tools and all those modalities with you. It's just that now you're applying them to a new struggle and a new focal point. So you're constantly in this cyclical, in these seasons of life. And so if I'm constantly going through that, then guess what? I know my clients are too. And if I choose to just hang out right here, I'm not able to continue cycling through with my clients. And that's going to ultimately be of disservice to them. I believe that I can only take my clients as far as I'm willing to take myself. So if I'm not investing and constantly putting myself in, crazy 21-day certifications like I did through NLP and hypnotherapy to be Master Coach certified, I'm telling you that room is intentionally built to agitate you and to trigger the crap out of you, right? That's uncomfortable. That requires you to constantly work on your stuff and how you want to show up. And you come out of that container like, wow, like that whole experience just blows my mind in a personal level and in a coaching level. And now I can bring that to my people, the modalities themselves, and also all the stuff I've done to work on myself. I also believe in this concept that we learn inside NLP called modeling. And as the name implies, is we model behaviors after people who we aspire and desire to shift into, right? This is the coaching world literally at the core. Somebody has knowledge or a skill set or behaviors, and then they're teaching someone else how to have acquisition of those things. The thing about that is we want to model the behaviors that we actually desire. We want to be self-selective around who we're modeling. So for example, I tend to attract a lot of moms. Why? Because unconsciously they're like, well, I want to model her. She's running a business and she's like, her kids are super important and she wants to be there to pick them up and take them home and be active. And so that's modeling. And so again, I want to be able to model that example for my clients so they also see what's possible and plausible for them to achieve. So it's constantly refining yourself so you can literally give that energy back to your people. So again, second habit of profitable coaches is they are constantly investing in themselves, and personal breakthroughs and personal development are of highest importance to them. And the last habit of a profitable coach is that they are client focused. At the end of the day, what I believe is when we take our energy away from just the money part and we focus on the human part that we're serving, it totally just figures itself out. When we see like the human across from us that has these needs, that's being vulnerable with us, that's sharing, all of these important things that are happening in their life, it is, I believe, our opportunity and our responsibility as coaches to help them facilitate results. Our clients create their results. We are the guide, and it's up to us to be able to be ahead of them enough to create a pathway for them to achieve success. And when we are focused on the client, everything else just kind of fades. From the moment that client says yes, are you thinking about like, what's the immediate experience they have? Do they hit yes or say yes and then they don't hear from you for a couple days? Like, imagine if you bought a new car, what would the experience be like? I don't know, maybe depending on the car, you've had this experience. I bought a car off the lot and, there wasn't really much follow-up. And I thought, man, we just made a huge investment. It's kind of disappointing. I never want somebody to feel that way from my service. And that's happened before, truthfully, because in the beginning, when I'm trying to figure my stuff out, I don't know, which is one of the reasons inside Best Damn Coach, we talk about these things. We want you to start thinking about the moment your person says yes to you, how do they experience coaching with you, right? How are you nurturing them from the moment they say yes? And by the way, the program is open right now to founding members only until September 6th with our founding members investment. It's literally a no-brainer. And if you haven't heard me talk about it, Best Damn Coach is focused on helping you grow your skill and mastery as a coach and the skill of growing a business. And so inside the program, we meet every week. We focus on 4 areas in coaching: sales, strategy, service, and ourselves, which is very pertinent to the last habit. And then we have some bonus calls each month where we focus on actually coaching each other to practice. And we also focus on some sort of deep dive topic in the coaching industry. Right now, when you sign up at the founding members rate, there's a $500 discount and you get a bonus call with me to work on whatever area of business you desire. And also you get access to our September coaching clinic. So head on over to amanda-walker.com/bestdamncoach. You can find out all the details. One thing that's really rad that I forgot to mention is we've built out 2 done-for-you libraries, which is how I got on this whole conversation anyways. And it's a coaching library and a business library. The coaching library has so many amazing resources for you to use when coaching your clients, but also those nurture sequences, like helps you with tips and tools to think about how can I build out this beautiful nurture sequence from the moment the client says yes. And on the business side, we have resources like how to build a website template, how to run a Zoom webinar, how to write email copy. So we want to help those things be very plug and play so you can focus on staying in your zone of genius as a coach and serving your people, which is really what the whole program's anchored around is habit number 3, that profitable coaches care about their results and they find so much of their business comes because they care about their people, and then their people go out and they tell the world about their results and they send you referrals because you just did such an amazing job from the beginning of nurturing them. And that's really the cycle. It doesn't matter. I mean, for me, I have lots of people around me that are entrepreneurs, and we all share that the number one place we get amazing clients and the best clients at that is through a referral, because somebody close to us sent them our way or because another client did. And I don't want that to stop in my business. I want people to serve at such a high capacity and of high value that they're like, you have got to go join Amanda's programs. You have got to go get coached by Amanda. She, and insert whatever feels amazing for them. So just think about that in your own world, right? Between those 3 habits, consistent action taker, invest in personal development consistently, and is client focus, which area are you really thriving in, and which one is maybe an area and an opportunity for you to create more growth and for you to create more mastery inside your own business? And if you feel like you need support in one or all of these areas, this is what we do inside Best Damn Coach. We literally want to help build an army of confident and competent coaches that are coming back into the coaching industry and holding integrity high and focusing on what, from my perspective, I think we've gotten away from is the people, because the people matter most to us. And again, you can head on over to amanda-walker.com, Best Damn Coach. There's info there. You can send me a message or an email too. If you have any questions, reach out to our team and we are happy to answer. The founders member bonuses and also investment ends September the 6th. So thank you so much for joining me on this week's episode of the BDC podcast. And I hope that these habits resonate with you. And if you want to connect more about the show, feel free to send us a message on Instagram. That's where I love to hang out, at A Walk My Way. And of course, we love and appreciate any review that you will give us and share how this particular episode or any of the episodes you've enjoyed are landing on you. Every week, I put my heart and soul into this podcast to bring you value and to help you grow as a person and as a coach. And one of the ways, very simple ways you can return that favor is by leaving us a review. So if you haven't left us a review, head on over to Apple or Spotify, leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what content you love and which content pieces are really speaking to you now.